Hello and welcome to Conversations with Mia. Today my guest is Denise Dominquez. Before I bring her on, I want to say a few things about her. I've worked with this woman over the years. I think she's amazing. She is also a self-love teacher coach whose specialty is in narcissism. And so that's an area in which we really, especially I think people are finding this in today's lockdown. Areas in which that are not moving smoothly for them. People's eyes are being opened. So welcome, Denise. It's good to have you here.
Thank you, Mia. I'm so excited to be here with you, as always.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about, or a lot of it, about abandonment, because a lot of people are saying, wow, I'm really feeling this inner wound, this fear of abandonment, of being left alone, or even I'm just afraid, and they don't have words for it.
Yeah, it is a topic. I get women all the time who find themselves in these toxic relationships, and whether they're in the relationship or they've left the relationship, they feel abandoned. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody who's not emotionally there or connected, you're still by yourself. There's nothing there. So there's that feeling of abandonment. And a lot of women that are in these types of relationships have come from abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
They come from a parent who, whether left them physically, emotionally, whatever. And so, it all starts from childhood. And history tends to repeat itself. Unless we complete the past, we're going to repeat the past. And so they find themselves in these relationships where they're abandoned again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I realized, I love abandonment, not I love being abandoned,
Right.
But I love the resolution that we now know where this stems from, how to get to the other side. Because there's nothing worse than being triggered when someone you absolutely love, either leaves you or messes up or whatever the scenario is, that feeling of sorrow, sadness, loneliness, abandonment. See, that's the underlying, the abandonment. It shows up in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I remember years ago, one of my teachers had said, you're feeling this way because you're feeling abandonment in this relationship because guess what? It started when you were born. And when I started to look at that and analyze it, it was really incredible. A huge weight lifted off of me. And it was like, wow. So he is not causing my abandonment. It was caused before, but it's just activated now.
Yep, exactly.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I mean by, like, if we don't complete the past, then we repeat the past. There's all these things that happen in the past. And, we may not even think anything of it. It may be just life. It happens. I remember, Mia, when I was in second grade, I remember this so vividly. I was in the girls' bathroom with this cute little girl with freckles over her nose, and she had a different last name than her mom. I was baffled. I was confused. Like, how does that even happen? She tried to explain it to me, but it was so, and back then, that's like when the Brady Bunch came out and like the divorced family and the new blended families started to become the new normal. And so when you don't realize that that was actually an issue, then you bypass it in life and then you repeat it.
Yeah.
Until, like you said, the triggers come up and it rises up to the top and you have no choice but to deal with it.
Yeah. And as a child, we don't have the brain developed capacity to understand all that.
Right.
And there can be theory repeated, but the actual understanding or the integrating it in, we don't understand. So let's both talk about it. I talk about it as in, once you're born and out of that warm, fuzzy womb, let's hope it's not fuzzy, warm, cozy womb, that literally, and I also love to say, bless their hearts, our parents, because it gives compassion to understanding that our parents were probably just as young and dumb as we were when we had kids. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we look at that, it's like, wow, that's really kind of crazy. And so we don't speak the same language as our parents. They don't speak the same language as us until we learn how to develop, the language of the nation that we live in or whatever. And so we're building these belief systems immediately on of the abandonment, and we're crying. We know what we want, but our parents don't. And so if they're not fully present, like, I would say that parents today really are trying, for the majority, are trying to work on, creating a connective space with their kids. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you don't have that going on, all these issues come up and these stories are built and our belief systems take over, and then there you go, you got your avalanche rolling.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And to even just notice and be aware of that is so powerful. So for the audience listening, and the audience and the people who are coming to you, Mia, and mentioning this feeling, and even like you said, in today's lockdown, if this is activating this feeling inside of them, I want everybody to really, instead of looking at it as like, oh, this is painful, this sucks, look at it as an awakening. And this is so beautiful. And this is exactly what you needed right now to heal that, so you don't ever feel that again.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
And also, if it is activated or you do start to feel like those feelings of woe, be with those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Know where they come from. Know that you're having an issue in the present moment. Don't try to just abandon it or push it aside, because that just creates more havoc inside our psyche. Just sit with it, feel it, recognize that this person or this situation or people not coming forward in the lockdown is another thing that's just triggering the abandonment. It's not that somebody is totally out of your life. And if they are, guess what? You're incredibly amazing yourself. And so as we rebuild or develop ourselves, this is where the magic comes in. I always say we're building bionic women and men,
Mm-hmm.
remember the Steve, what was that in the Bionic Man? It was like, and we will rebuild him, or maybe that was a Bionic Woman, I don't know, but the $6 million man of the Bionic,
Yeah.
and we will rebuild them. And so it's like, that's what sometimes that humor comes through when I'm, talking to somebody or explaining this, because literally we can shift and change everything about us.
Absolutely. And that is the ultimate goal, is to be the best version of us. And so when these abandonment feelings come up, or any type of a disempowering feeling come up, like you said, Mia, feel it, go through the process of feeling the emotions, and then work towards healing it so that you don't ever feel it again. I love what you said. Don't abandon the abandonment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't abandon the abandonment feelings. They're coming up for a reason. Everything is happening for us, not to us.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever this or another topic comes up and you're feeling this sadness, loneliness, abandonment, whatever these emotions that are coming up, it's coming up for you. It's coming up for a reason. And it's your inner self telling yourself, you need to deal with this. This has been lingering for too long and it needs to come up and be healed. And so just like with anything, just like what we're going through right now, things need to fall apart before they fall back into place the way they're supposed to. So
Right.
yeah, it's a beautiful journey and process for, this time right now, and any time that we go through this awakening and this process of healing the past, and just being aware of that is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And growth.
Yeah. When we can look at this as excitement or an exciting time, I'm not talking about the lockdown, but on the personal development side,
Mm-hmm.
it's always exciting to grow and to grow and to grow. And that really is what we ask for as humans on this planet, is to keep evolving, and the evolution. Everything else is evolving around us, including and I hate to say it, but including the COVID-19, that's doing its mutation and evolving kind of thing. And everything evolves. So as we grow, we're just simply doing the natural state of being. And that's why a lot of people struggle when they're not taking challenges for themselves, or they're not looking at things that are disruptive in their life to grow. It's like their internal is fighting with themselves. And they
Yes.
don't even know it. They don't even realize that they're having that inner struggle.
Yeah, that's so powerful. I remember when I was in my relationship, you just reminded me of that internal struggle that I was having. I didn't want to be in the relationship anymore, but I felt like I had to be in the relationship because we have kids and there's this obligation, and you get married once, and all of these beliefs inside of me that were saying, you have to be here, you have to suffer, you have to go through this, and things will get better. And things will get better. Meanwhile, things are getting worse. Things are getting worse. So there's that too. And one thing I want to say, Mia, about what you were saying before about the feelings, I like to share with people that when you're, whatever emotions that are coming up, a really good way to process them in a healthy way is to release them by sitting down and putting pen to paper and just writing out these emotions onto paper so that you can release them in a healthy way. What we commonly do is we harbor them, we keep them inside, and we just they just muster inside of us. And then that builds on anger and frustration, and it builds more on what we were already feeling. So I love to give that tip for people. I use a notebook. So it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be, $25 this or whatever. You can just go and get a notebook and just date it and write it and release it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is important. It's that getting it out. There's a cognitive function there that literally helps push it out, right, into another space. It's like releasing it from your body and out into the world.
Yeah.
And then burn that baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Us women who are mystics, we're like, and then burn it. And then release it. And they're like, yeah, we know you ladies.
Yeah.
It is about, we can do little ceremonial ritual stuff because that also is incredibly empowering. We've always been disempowered to a degree as a sect of humanity, women put in their place and do this and do that, and no, you can't do that. And so it's fun to stand up and be, if men don't understand us, it's fun to stand up and do what makes us feel in our power. And that's literally also a way out of abandonment, is being in your power. When you are in your power and you understand all the things that are going on in your life, and you understand other people, there's nothing more powerful or liberating than understanding where you're at. If something slips out of your life, it slips out of your life for a reason. So look at it, be smart about it. You will get another opportunity to love, right? Or to feel safe with your girlfriends or your guy friends. Or, this too, that saying, and I've heard you say this a lot, Denise, this too shall pass,
Absolutely.
And so then we move into that other grander stage. And it's a beautiful experience to transition from feeling small and wounded to feeling empowered and big, literally. To be larger than life in your own life, that is, don't bother somebody else's life by being larger than life, but in your own life, to be on top of everything is really important and very empowering.
I love what you said, man. I'm writing it down as you're speaking, because the liberation is, I feel like that is our ultimate goal for all of us, to feel liberated inside of us, outside of us. Every woman that I talk to, one of the biggest things that they're seeking is freedom, to feel free with them freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to be who I am, unapologize for, this or that. And the abandonment brings up all of those feelings of sad and lonely, and I'm unlovable. Nobody loves me, because of this abandonment that happened early on. And so that they too are seeking the liberation. I don't want to feel this trapped, lonely, sad feeling inside of me. It feels like prison. And so getting towards feeling liberated and feeling that freedom inside of you releases all of those emotions attached to abandonment.
It's this is the lottery, the alchemy that the alchemists, the goal that the alchemists were seeking. Love is freedom.
Yes.
Because when we stand in the place of love, of understanding ourselves, of working ourselves as we grow, there's no greater freedom, personal freedom, literally, than understanding and having that love grow within. That's the space where humanity wants to be. That's that movement of being empowered, and it's smooth and it's joyous and it does exist. Is it a permanent thing? Well, as humans, we always have to keep working it, right? But to experience it, live it, and know all the great things that come from it, that's what makes us stay on top of our game, literally. Yeah. And I don't mean that as a game, as in like, play, or, let's play basketball. It's literally the game of life, and it's our game. We're here to enjoy ourselves, and we're here to live this life independently and then with others. And so, that's what I mean by the game, it's the game of life.
Yeah. Yeah. We are playing the game of life, and it's about mastering the game of life. It's about being who we are, our own person, like I was saying, and not apologize for that. And feeling the love, because abandonment is the opposite of love. If we feel abandoned, that's not love. Right. So it's about turning all of the experiences that we've had in life. And I think Dolores Cannon said, we're here to manipulate the energy. I believe it was her who said that. That is our goal, is to manipulate the energy. So the energy in you, the energy that people put on you, the energy that you picked up from other people growing up, so it is the game of life.
To transfer it. It's funny because I have those exact words have tried to come off my mouth for the last 2 months, manipulate the energy, and they stop because of the word manipulate. And stigma. So, yeah, well, and because manipulate is us trying to turn something against itself. So in turn, that's correct. But on a level of everyone understanding, manipulation is also a negative connotation, because no one wants to be manipulated, right? And so it's interesting. That word has played a part in my life. Never mind, we won't talk about it. I just love that. I love that word because I'll tell you off air, but I love that word because it's very, it can be very empowering and it can be very disempowering. And so words have integrity. And so how are we going to use the word? So, and also like if you use the word transmutation, it's the same thing, but it's funny, being a spiritual woman myself, these are interesting words because if they're way off over here, the world can't understand it, right? Right. So we have to be right here.
Where they can understand.
So it's about changing sorry, Diane. It's, I know that you're gone now, but we're gonna change it to changing the energy here, just because.
Or mastering the energy. That's
right.
Another word that comes up, mastering the energy. Yeah.
Yes. Love that one. That's beautiful.
There you go.
Well, this was really great. And thank you so much, Denise, for joining us on Conversations with Mia. Yeah, it was lovely. And we'll see you all in another episode. Have a great day.